Drakkenheim is no more. Struck by a falling star, the city bathed in eldritch fire on that woeful eve. The tumultuous aftermath brought chaos, families torn asunder, and a kingdom shattered. 15 years later, monsters stalk the haunted streets of Drakkenheim. Caught amidst rival factions struggling to rule the rubble, three unlikely partners venture forth into the crumbling city in search of riches, renown, and revenge.
Good evening and welcome to Drakkenheim. This is our weekly Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition live stream game with the Dungeon Dudes. That's me, Monty Martin, the Dungeon Master.
And I'm McLaughlin, playing the half-elf shadow sorcerer, Sebastian Crow. And we're joined today by our good friends...
Jill Denitis, playing Veosenia, the Tabaxi Gloomstalker Ranger Rogue.
And Joe O'Gorman, playing Pluto Jackson, the Human Battlemaster.
Of course, tonight's episode of Dungeons of Drakkenheim is sponsored by Skull Splitter Dice. We've got a fantastic collection of their all-metal dice rolling at the table here tonight. I've got another set of these kind of dusty copper dice with me. I've been rolling the gold set prior, but I'm going to diversify a little bit for tonight and see how things are going. I think this one was serving up a few too many critical hits after last week.
Please stop.
And if you want to pick up a set of Skull Splitter dice for yourself, you can head on over to skullsplitterdice.com and be sure to use the discount code DDUDES at checkout to save 15% off your first order. When last we left our heroes, they had been picked up by a roving band of paladins of the Silver Order in the outskirts of Drakkenheim, known as the Sprawl, which had become a battleground between the Silver Order and the Gnolls, as the Silver Order lights fire to the district itself, burning down buildings in an effort to stymie the advance of the ravenous Gnolls and their control of this area of the city. Our heroes had received word from none other than the Rat Prince, who desperately swam down the Dran River to warn them, for the Paladins are slaying all of the monsters of Drakkenheim, and they do not discriminate between the pretty psychopathic rat folk and the equally psychopathic Gnolls of the city, and have been slaying the Rat Prince's brethren in equal droves and driving them out of this area of the city. What our heroes will do about this situation remains to be seen, but they are now on the backs of the horses of several members of the Silver Order, heading towards the Paladins' encampment. For what reason and what will happen there, we do not know. The horses gallop forward as you walk past the devastation. The Silver Order has created flame breaks of controlled burns where they are burning down sections and blocks of the Sprawl, using these strange tanks that are worn on the backs of some of their members, connected with tubes and cables to these long lances that they carry in two hands that have nozzles on them. They release the valve, and a torch at the end is a light setting forth a gout of flame that they use to ignite buildings and palisades that they have set up to control the fires. There's a noxious smell that hangs in the air alongside the fire. It's an acrid, gaseous odor that almost is nauseating to smell. You are riding alongside one of the paladins who has introduced himself as Virgil Underwood. You've only seen the smallest segment of his face underneath his armor and helmets as he lifted up his visor, revealing a grizzled face with a handlebar mustache. He's been chatty, saying what the Paladins have been doing, how they've been organizing their flame breaks and going forward, and just saying that we're going to ride you out to safety. Now, our encampment's the safest place for miles around, I assure you that. Far safer than those city streets we found you in.
I doubt that.
Still, gotta say, you really did a number on all them Gnolls back there. I don't think I've ever seen 3 people slaughter that many of those creatures. You're good enough, Scruff, aren't you?
I like to think so, yeah. We hold our own. We haven't needed any help in Drakkenheim yet, so interesting that you guys are showing up now and burning the place to the ground when 3 people could handle it pretty easily.
Well, there's countless number of those ferocious beasts in the ruins, and we tried to make as much headway as we could using our groups and our full company's strength, but we found that each time we struck in, and no matter how many of them we cut down, the next day there were more of them. And of course, with all that smoke and haze in the city, we can't make camp anywhere. We gotta head back out where it's safe and you can breathe and no one gets sick. So we found that the only way that we could make any headway was just by cutting a fiery swath right through the city itself. And that's what we're gonna do all the way till we get to the Grand Cathedral.
And who's gonna pay for these houses to be rebuilt? Because you're obviously destroying people's houses.
Well, the way I see it, there ain't anyone living in those buildings now anyways, and after being abandoned and blown down for 15 years, there ain't much to them anyways. They're gonna have to get torn down if anyone actually wants to live here again.
Torn down versus burned down.
It's all the same, it's just a bunch of ruins now. The walls still look good. A bunch of the churches and the old buildings, we're keeping them safe too. If there's anything that we can salvage, we see to it that we can, but until then, the ruins are as much a maze for us as anything else.
Well, yes, for you, who haven't really been here very long.
No, he's making sense. I don't like that he's making sense, but...
They just kind of come in here and scorched earth, classic.
Yeah, I understand what you're doing, but why? Like, you guys aren't from here. This isn't your home.
Everywhere is home to those who follow the light. We are all neighbors, and we are all brothers.
Ugh.
And we must take it upon ourselves to see that this world is protected from all forms of evil, lest this place become a hellmouth for any sort of vile creatures that could rise up and strike against us.
There are already several groups working here that are protecting it and are trying to rid it of monsters, us included. So technically, you're stepping on our toes by coming in here, burning the place down, and claiming that you're here to save us all when we've been working for quite a while.
I mean, you can take that up with the not captain, but the way I see it, you've all had 15 years to do something here, and you haven't done much of anything at all.
We just arrived. When did we arrive? How long has it been?
A couple weeks.
Couple weeks ago. So, I mean, in 2 weeks, we've cleared out probably 100 gnolls. We've made an alliance with the rat folk that you've been slaughtering. They're working for us.
Wait, hold on.
What?
You've been having congress with these mutants?
Some of them can be very helpful.
Those things are corrupt monsters and beasts, and they will only lead you astray. They are true monsters, and they are beyond redemption.
You know how we got in and out of Drakkenheim without any problems? Well, with minimal problems. Don't mention the gelatinous cube.
Nope.
They helped us. They're the best guides we have to the city. They know it through and through.
Appreciate that, Sebastian.
Yeah. she's right there. She's right beside you.
Best guides in the city.
Way I see it, you're just lucky that they haven't led you to your death yet.
Well, that's why we have her.
All I've seen from those scrawny little ratlings is traps, and more traps.
Well, have you taken time to talk to them?
Look, as someone who's familiar being a foreign invading force, it's good to make friends with the locals.
They haven't taken any time to talk to us. They just come up and try to throw bombs at us, poison us, stab us, or stick us in the side, so we've been flushing them out wherever we find them.
I mean...
They're vicious little beasts, I tell you that. Still, I don't know what's worse, them, the gnolls, or the other bigger creatures that we've heard about inside the city. In any case, we'll cut through them all the same. We won't have to make any deals with them once they're all gone.
Well, I mean, we take care of the bigger creatures too. I mean, Pluto over there, he killed a troll
I killed a troll.
He killed a troll.
At least one troll.
on his own
That's impressive.
with his bare hands.
No help.
Very impressive. Right and true. I have no doubt about all y'all's abilities to fight and survive, and I can see that you've had to do whatever you've needed to do and make whatever deals you've needed to make to get in and outside the city, but that time's done now. We're here in force and numbers. We can break down these walls, take these gates, actually secure the area. Don't have to go sneaking around like rats in a gutter.
And when you secure it, what's your plan after that? Are you going to leave Drakkenheim back to its people?
You know what? I don't rightly know. It's not really my business to decide what's going to happen after the mission's over. By and large, that's the role of the Knight Commander. So you'll have to take it up with him if you really want to know what the plan is. We're just here to be righteous souls in the fight against evil. And wherever we need to go, we will spread the light.
Well, I think you need to take us to your commander then. And obviously give us a little bit of food so we can't be weary on our way.
Right. We'll bring you into the camp. You seem like brave folks, but I don't like hearing that you've been making deals with those rat folk.
And we don't like hearing that you've been burning our city. So, I mean, I guess we're on agreement on that.
Yeah,
Agree
we're
to
just
disagree.
A little more subtle with our approach.
You just better know, a lot of people think that they can fool the Silver Order, that we're simple folk. A lot of people thought that ended up dead. Just to give you a warning right now.
I've never met
You act
somebody I
nice and
can't
proper
fool.
and no funny business. And especially, no lies in front of the Flamekeeper, because she'll see right through you.
Well, I've yet to meet someone who can kill me, so.
I swear on the silver flame.
Right.
That was so believable. You really sold me. Did you
What
convert?
about you? You ain't from Westermar. You're a Caspian, ain't you?
Yes, sir.
It's the accent.
Mr. Virgil, sir. I came here for my own. It's like a vacation. I'm on vacation.
Kind of fun a place to take a vacation, don't you think?
I like to kill things like trolls. Did I tell you I killed a troll? I'm here from just on like a couple month journey. I'm just trying to find myself, really get my sword tuned, you know.
There's no revel in the butcher's work lest it stain the soul. We do what we need to do for a righteous cause, not in the name of just death and destruction for its own sake. So I hope you're not here just to have a joyride and slit a few throats.
Oh, well then you're gonna hate my my pamphlet. So, killing and thrilling the Pluto's tale.
I tell you, we're determined folk, but we don't take pride in the work that we do. It's necessary work. It's the work that must be done for the light, and we don't take upon it lightly. It takes true noble heart to end a life, and to know under what circumstances it's right and just for one to do so.
Well, I stare into the heart and eyes of the things I murder. I don't sit on a horseback and torch everything. You're like dropping bombs on Drakkenheim. There's no precision. There's no heart to it. Look, you have your religious beliefs, and in Caspia, we may not align on them, but I respect the work that you do. It's just that you're dropping a bomb on anthills here. I think you need to peel back a little bit and remember that this is still a city in someone's home. It's Veo's home.
Look it. You can argue much as you want with me about that, but that's not my decision to make.
I understand.
I'm a soldier, and I'm here to do what must be done. And far as I can make note of it, we're doing what must be done. This place is... between you and me, I'm surprised that we're not just burning the whole place to the ground. Seems like it's almost entirely beyond saving, but the night captain says that there's work to be done here, and so we're going to do that work. We're going to do it right, and I trust them to know what the right path is for us.
I think being on this path that you're on, that you would believe in some sort of redemption, that this place can be redeemed if possible, not just burning it to the ground.
Well, the way I see it is, if you're going to dress a wound, the first step is to cut away the infected flesh.
Medically speaking, yes.
That's accurate.
Sounds like we're going to want to talk to your commander. How far are we from the camp?
Another couple hours or so. Got a good ride ahead of us.
You got any food?
Sure, we got some bread and cheese and a bit of meat, some dried nuts. You're welcome to share.
Yes.
Thank you. That's really nice. We haven't had a nice meal since yesterday.
You look up at the sun. There's no sun.
No sun.
Since whenever we were in Emberwood Village.
The last time we ate. We
Yes.
haven't eaten
You
since the
ride
last time we ate.
forth with Virgil and his fellow knights. It's difficult to tell if they're all men or women underneath all their armor. They're all clad identically in the same style of chain or plate armor as befits their rank. They seem to have some sort of insignia that indicates his rank as a sergeant of some kind or a leader of a squadron. They're all on horseback as they march forth towards the camp. You can see that as you approach in the distance after an hour or so of travel across the Cairn Hills, you can see the camp that you saw from the clock tower before, and that your birds had previously oversaw their Veo.
Tried to kill my pigeons.
It's a large company-sized military camp that has been built with in a rough rectangular shape with a high wooden palisade all around it, where they've dug a ditch around the whole thing, filled it with spikes or water in some parts of it. Seems like the way that they built the camp is that there are gates to the east and the west, buttressed by towers, which are also on each of the four corners, that they have a makeshift drawbridge that will raise and lower on either side. One of the things that strikes you immediately, though, as you come towards the camp, is the flight of 3 knights astride griffins, circling overhead.
Oh.
And the call of the horns that sounds from the riders as they see your approach.
3 griffins, eh? Do we steal griffins from paladins?
I want one.
Notably as well,
I want one now.
several hundred feet from the main encampment, they have built another set of palisades around what looks like the ruins of an old barn and granary. The palisades here are built with a little bit of extra stone, and there are several large wagons outside it, alongside various barrels, and the palisade here has an extra ditch dug all the way around it, which has been filled with water completely. So they've taken this farmhouse, built a palisade around it, and it seems to be quite a bit more fortified and protected than the main encampment, which is much larger. As you come up to the main camp, you can see that there is another smaller camp outside the main gates. There are several tents arrayed around, and one large command tent, and beside it are the banners of the hooded lanterns.
Like a diplomat tent? Or like...
There would be no more than a dozen people in this smaller camp outside, but the large tent is that which you would expect to be a meeting tent or a command tent.
Interesting.
I say we go see who's here.
I say first we talk to the commander of the paladins.
Yeah.
I don't know. What you want to check out the hooded lanterns? I also just want to ask Virgil very quickly. Hey, Virg.
Wow, you've really made headway with
Yeah, we're
Virgil.
We're old buddies. That other place, the more fortified one. I'm guessing you got to protect all that oil and stuff that you're carrying around. That stuff's got to be dangerous.
You're a smart man. That's where we keep the dragon's breath.
Is that what you call it? See, I had to learn magic to figure out how to do stuff like that. You guys are just doing it, I assume, non-magically. You've...
Be honest with you there, Sebastian. I couldn't tell you heads or tails how those things work. But they seem to do the job.
Poor Virgil.
He's just a thug.
It's really interesting. If, I understand that it must be under strict protection, but maybe with an escort, I would love to see what's going on in there.
I don't think so.
I'm fascinated by fire and how fire works, and I tend to just create it.
One of the other knights that is carrying the lance says, "It's fairly simple. You just pull this and the thing in front of you melts."
Oh. Was there an instruction booklet? Like, is that the quick start?
Well, we got to keep them safe.
Mm-hmm.
The tanks are armored on the back so that they don't get shot. They've been treated on the outside so that if someone tries to throw a torch at you, you just don't explode right there on the spot. But you got to be careful around the fire, around it. That's why we got the extra armor on the back for them to protect them. And yeah, it's a bit of an honor carrying one because it can come with a little bit of risk, but it's well worth it. And generally, most of the nasties just turn tail around as soon as they see you lower one of these things in front of them. It's a real joy to see.
If you hit it hard enough with fire, is that dangerous for you guys? Like, have you ran into any spellcasters or anything like that have caused you problems?
Virgil speaks up. Now, I can't tell you exactly how these things work, but we've worked out a lot of ways for us to, fight around that. So when we see, we all work together, make sure that those that are carrying the dragon's fire are well protected, and we tend to not use them in the front lines of battle. They tend to be more of our second line.
I see.
I hope you're getting paid the good hazard pay, like the quality tuna, for your having to carry one of those.
She, the other night, she speaks up and she says, "Duty is its own reward." And she then just pulls the nozzle on it, and a gout of flame shoots out the top. It's also a lot of fun.
I apologize for all the questions. I'm just very fascinated by the mechanics of how this is working. I've never seen anything like it. You guys must have some really intelligent people working on these.
Virgil looks back at you like he's probably never considered that question before. I imagine so. We get some help and some thoughts. There's all the good works of this world offer up a lot of solutions for those that are willing to have a little bit of ingenuity for the situation.
If you can't show me where you keep all of the tanks, maybe I could at least talk to one of the people who creates these devices. I'd love to meet them.
I think for that you'd have to head back to the Shining City or far away. We don't have anyone here that knows how to make this. We only have what we brought with us.
Fair enough. My fascination will I'll pocket that one for now, and we'll come back to it.
So we could either go see the commander, or we could get a little bit of information from the Hooded Lanterns about their relationship.
Maybe,
first.
Why are they here, or who from the Hooded Lanterns are here?
Yeah.
What if it's like a?
Is it who we don't want to be here? Or is it who we do want to be here?
Is it?
I just don't want to make any
Is it
assumptions.
weird if you go meet the Hooded Lanterns and we go meet the commander? Or should we all stick together?
I think stick together, but I can pop my head in real quick.
Well, yeah. Let's say hi to the Hooded Lantern tent.
We were on the way.
Because it's on the
So we
way.
probably
It's
Okay.
like the first exhibit in this new
exhibit
place.
in the zoo.
I'm on vacation. I want to just see all the sights.
Okay.
All right, so I jump
Virgil,
off
yeah,
the horse.
can we take a quick detour? What are the Hood Lanterns doing here?
Oh, they've been causing a whole fuss from what I hear. They're here to meet with the Knight Commander.
That makes sense.
You know these guys?
Yeah, we've heard of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, they work for Drakkenheim.
They are
All right,
Drakkenheim.
They are Drakkenheim.
I mean, if you want to stop and talk with them, if you know them, if they're friends of yours, you're welcome to do so. When you want to come in and you want to talk and you want to see things, that's just fine. You can wait out here with them, and we'll come and get you when the Night Commander is ready to talk to you.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, thanks.
Alrighty.
Thanks, Verge. We call him Verge now, right?
Yeah, his name's
Yeah,
Verge.
Verge.
Verge, what's your
Do
last
you like
name?
Verge?
Virgil Underwood.
Thank you, Sir Underwood.
See you in a bit.
Vergie.
Old V-Wood.
Hey there, V-Wood.
As you
Yep,
dismount and
that-
head
that's a
towards
good thing.
the encampment with the hooded lanterns, you can see that there's the larger command tent and a few smaller ones all around a central fire and a set of equipment. They've got about a dozen horses that they've drawn up here as well that they've hitched to some posts around the camp. And as you approach, rushing out of one of the tents is Petra.
Petra.
The woman that you are familiar, you've known her for a long time. Yes. She's got the light, kind of sandy, the very thin build with the sandy hair, tied back in a sharp bun. She's got the green robes of the hooded lanterns and her arrows and bows and her equipment with her. And she rushes out and she says, "You all always manage to show up wherever there's trouble, don't you?"
Oops.
That's our way of helping.
It's our specialty.
We had a ride on a horse.
It's very true. We're here to figure out what the paladins are doing. I assume you're here for the same reason.
Did you guys tell us
Exactly. Have you seen what's going on?
Oh, yes. We could see it from...
It's madness. They're insane.
that? Agreed.
We have questions
We're
for
talking
them.
about the same thing, right?
Fire.
The fire?
Yeah, the fire. Yep.
What do they think they're doing? She looks around. What do they think they're doing? Burning the city to the ground? Are they crazy?
They think it's past redemption.
It's like a holy thing.
They're going to undo everything we've been fighting for the past 15 years.
I still want to know who's going to pay for it personally.
Good as question as any.
What's your plan? Why are you here?
I'm here with the Lord Commander. Elias Drexel's here, Ansem's here. We brought a bunch of our soldiers. We mean to tell them to leave, I think. Or at least what they're planning on doing. You don't really know what to do. This is a whole company of soldiers. There's at least 200 of them. We don't have the resources to take them on head on like that. Sure, we can fight them in the city, on the rooftops, on the walls, but they're just burning everything down.
Yeah,
Have you engaged with them? Have you fought them?
We had a few encounters. It seems like things got smoothed out so far, but it's been really tense ever since. A few of us got killed, a few of them got killed. It's been tense, to say the least.
Speaking of tents, I'm looking out at their camp here, and all I see are a bunch of tents and wood, and they're all carrying flammable... Okay. They're all carrying flammable barrels on their back. If you wanted to take them all out, seems like all you need is a little fire in the right place.
You'd think that, but they're the ones bringing it here. They really know how to manage it well. They don't keep any of it inside the main camp. It's all out there.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean that's the only way to set fire.
No, not at all. And certainly, we've thought about it, but a lot of them are good people. They're just here to do the right thing. They're not
That's true. Virgil's
bad
nice.
people. We just don't know what to make of it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to jump to let's burn their camp down. I'm just saying that if we
You
need
kinda
to,
did, but
I was looking at ways to, I was looking at options.
I don't
I'm
know
looking
about
at
that,
options.
Sebastian. These knights, the Silver Order has made fire their middle name. They really know how to manage it in their own camp. I think that might work, but I think that they're wise enough to know that that's something that they're vulnerable to.
Well, fire's my middle name as well. Sebastian Fire Crow with my one fire spell that I know.
As
Show
much
me
as
your
I like
wand
to see
tricks.
them hoisted by their own petard, literally.
I know 2 fire spells.
We might have to, and that's certainly an option on the table. I don't know if the commander's considering that or not yet.
Do you? I'd like to hear what they have to say, but have you considered? And not that I am saying that this is the only way, but have you considered working with them? Okay, bad idea. I'm sorry.
She gives you the 1,000-yard stare.
I mean,
What?
I just want to hear what they have to say.
they're Illyrians.
You know.
Yeah, no, I get it.
How can we trust them?
Well, we can't.
Other than burning down Drakkenheim, what is it that they want? They said they were burning their way to the cathedral.
Yeah.
Because maybe they might get something and leave, or maybe we just sabotage all their fire.
Because if we can offer them, hey, we're going to the cathedral to look for such and such, and we say, stop burning the city, we'll go get it for you. If we fail, continue, but we never fail.
From what I've gathered, they're on a mission of a different order. And even though they may get what they want, they may not necessarily stop until they believe they've fulfilled what that order is. And I'm just interested to hear what their commander-in-chief specifically, because obviously the guards don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
At that, the main command tent opens and Ansem and Alias Drexel step out of the tent. And Drexel, the Lord Commander of the Hooded Lanterns, with his kind of like brooding face and dark scarred face, he says, I'm wondering the same thing myself. I don't know what to make of these paladins. And until I find out what their objectives actually are, I don't want them setting any more foot in the city than they already have.
Agreed.
Agreed.
Sir.
Is the other guy that's with him, is that Petra's brother?
Yes.
Oh, good.
Oh, that guy.
Did he read our note?
Did you get our note, Lord
get our
Commander?
Wink, I say, and wink.
I've been waiting for a few more updates from you all. Seems like you've been having a bit of a vacation back in Emberwood Village.
We needed to take a few days
Took
off.
like 3 days off, and everybody's given us.
We were roughed up a little.
I was hoping that you were going to come and check in with these paladins first before I would have to come here, but I was sick of waiting, and they forced my hand. I had to come myself.
Yeah, we were a little busy. My family home burnt down. It was pretty tragic, so I apologize.
Sorry to hear that.
We've also been
you.
monitoring from afar in a way to make sure that.
Now he feels
And when we
bad.
did find out what was happening, we came here straight away.
Yeah, we got to ride on a horse.
Have you never ridden a horse before?
I miss my horse. Like, you
What's
have
your
no idea how
horse's
nice
name?
it is to not have to walk everywhere. This armor is more like horse armor.
I bet you've like gained some muscle though.
I have.
What's your horse's name?
Very sore. Matthias.
And where's your horse now?
Well, I don't know.
Is he the dead horse
Dead.
that we kick?
The horses are
No,
all
I know
well
him.
and good
I know
for
I know
getting-
the horse.
Horses are all well and good for getting in and out of the city, but actually riding one around in the ruins, it's a complete liability.
True.
Yeah, it's like a
Yeah.
Ferrari
You cannot ride a horse on the
a
rooftop.
in a dangerous town.
City traffic these days is an absolute.
And the corpse watcher,
Wait.
the corpse thing.
Yeah.
If you'd like, you can come with me when I go meet with their knight commander. Don't get confused. I'm the Lord Commander. He's the knight commander. I'm worried about that too, but we'll figure it out.
Who's higher on the
Yeah.
list?
Different cities, so different.
Technically speaking, from what I know about the Illyrian military order, they brought a company of men here, so whoever their leader is a captain or a major at
Yeah,
best.
yeah. You're way higher than him.
But by the authority of the city, yes, I am.
Am I higher than him? With my badge? I point to my badge.
Veo, I know you're carrying that thing around, but you are not the steward of the city.
Just because you wear the shirt.
I'd like to think that in these dire times with my father gone, that I have some semblance of addition to any plans that go on in Drakkenheim.
That's all well and good, but the stewardship of the city is not a
Semblance.
hereditary office. That's an office that can only be granted by the king.
All right.
But the badge. The badge.
I feel like a kid with like a police badge.
I'm glad that you've kept it safe.
Oh, I'd keep this safe over anything. Even my tuna.
And to be perfectly honest, I'm relieved that someone has it and not them, because that's the biggest thing that I'm more concerned about. Interlopers here in the city, with all the documentation, all the relics, all of the badges of order and office that we still haven't found. They could find anything. I'm concerned, and from what I've heard from just talking to their rank and file, they're here for the Grand Cathedral. The Cathedral of St. Petruvio. We all believe in the light. I'm no man of great faith myself, but the Cathedral of St. Petruvio has many, many holy relics of our faith there. And for the Silver Order, the Hierarch, these are important things. If they mean to retrieve them, that's fine. I don't care about those things. But the Grand Cathedral is where the city kept the lineages, the archives, and the last will and testament of King Ulrich.
Oh, that's a different story.
What are they after?
They might not want that. But if they found it, if they took it, they could install a Caspian whelp or some Illyrian puppet on the throne. And I can't have that.
I'm a whelp.
If they were to find the king's will, his seal, they could rewrite it to be whatever they wanted. And with the military force of the Illyrians behind whatever they say the word of the king is, they would get all the other nobles to fall in line pretty easily.
This isn't good.
Now,
This isn't good.
Commander,
at all.
I have a question.
If
Do you
they-
have a list of missing artifacts that would be key to the ruling of this city? Like you said, the seal, but what else? I know obviously these badges mean something.
If the king has a will, it would say what the right of succession is. It would say in it which of the noble houses is related to the royal family and which is rightfully to inherit the throne. It could end all the civil strife we've seen across the nation. Just by having that official documentation, especially in the hands of myself, backed up by the seal of the steward, anything else that could verify its truth, then we'd have something.
Why haven't you gone in to get it?
I'm sure Veo can explain, but the Knolls have made the Grand Cathedral their
Yeah, we've dealt.
feasting hall.
We've dealt with gnolls. We've dealt with large groups of gnolls.
Feasting hall. That sounds just like a food hall, like a
It's
mess.
a massive knoll, 10 feet tall. We call the Lord of the Feast. It's pure white, except for the blood all over his fur.
Yeah.
Have you seen him?
I've seen him, and he would send chills into the very crevices of every part of your body.
I hate it when I get chills in my
Wherever he
crevices.
My
The Knolls
crevices.
are
My
fearsome
elbow.
enough. But just
My inner bone.
But just being around him kicks all the Knolls up into a frenzy of fury. It's like the fires of hell themselves have just been ignited in their hearts. They fight like nothing else. We've never survived an engagement against him. We have to run whenever he's near.
He would need an army to get past that knoll.
Or
We
the
have a-
greatest troll killer in the world and the greatest spellcaster in the world. I use that term very loosely, but I'm talking about us.
With respect, I'd be sending you on a death sentence if I tried to send you there. I couldn't do that in good conscience.
Pluto Jackson killed a troll that was how tall?
It was like pretty tall. I don't
Taller
know.
than a knoll.
I'm not great at estimating feet, but if I had a way to measure it, it's the biggest troll I've killed. I can say that confidently.
How big was the other troll?
It was probably smaller.
I mean, I've only seen the Lord of the Feast at a distance, but I've seen him slaughter good men, strong men. I've seen him kill men that I have seen kill a troll.
Oh,
He's the person
no.
we tell
Oh, no.
the kids about not to go into the city. Even me, I think that they're not quite understanding how fierce he can be. I've seen it with my own eyes.
Look, I've been a dog owner my whole life, so I think I know a little something.
Gnolls technically aren't related to canines. They're actually hyena related and
Oh.
has a whole separate genealogy.
Oh
Yeah.
no, then I might be way out of my depth here. Never owned a hyena.
So you're saying you don't think we can handle it.
So you're saying there's a chance?
So you're saying there's a chance.
I
Because
don't know,
I like that.
but I am saying that Veo's right. You would need an army to take on the Cathedral of St. Vitruvio. That's an army.
But if they go in there, what if they just burn the whole place down?
I don't think they'd burn
Then we have nothing.
Cathedral down.
That's even worse.
Yeah.
Okay, so they might just seize everything and claim Drakkenheim. That's why they're beelining it for it. I think if anything, we have to get there first.
You know what? As much as I've seen this Noel and from what I've heard about the stories of him, I believe in our group. I think if anyone can sneak in there without an army, we could do it.
Are there sewers underneath the cathedral?
What I remember, the sewers, catacombs, all sorts of things. There was a huge burial complex for all the great saints and paladins and knights and clerics that have lived in the city. They were all buried there. There's a huge complex underneath the cathedral.
Perhaps we can get into the cathedral without going on the streets.
Catacombs?
Through the
And they
catacombs.
start with cat, but cats don't like to go there.
It's dark.
That's confusing.
It's dark and not many people like to go there. That means that we have a better chance of running into less problems.
It's true.
Unless the dead decide to come back,
Well, that's
which seems to happen. At least none of us are carrying any of that goop from the mirror. Oh, wait.
Look, I'm going to surprise you with it. You'll be happy to know that the cork is still in place and everything's fine. Probably.
and I have my favorite enemy is undead. By favorite I mean least favorite, so I like to kill them.
That's good. That's confusing.
Favorite and
Double
least
negative, tricky. Lord Commander?
Wait.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
the Lord.
um,
Everyone's the knight.
What about
We're just going to have a quick aside for a second.
Huddle.
We're going to have a team huddle. Just give us one moment.
My liege.
huddle?
We back up.
There are griffins. We could fly in.
We could also, this was my thought while we were thinking, while we were talking, while I was thinking and you guys were talking. I'm going to just say it. What if we waited until they marched on it and like right when they're outside the cathedral, then we sneak in and then get everything we need and then peace. And then they're fighting gnolls.
That still means that they have to burn their way into Drakkenheim.
Yeah.
They still burn their way into Drakkenheim for sure.
Maybe.
Do we know what happens with flames and delirium?
No. Well, I mean,
we do. Don't we?
Do we?
Doesn't it like set it off?
Does it?
Volatile?
I don't know.
Didn't we learn that one time from Oscar?
I'm not sure.
I mean, I've cast a few fire spells in and around Drakkenheim. Nothing that bad has happened.
I also think that, remember what the Academy said about getting a foothold? We want to actually prevent them from even getting through the gate.
So
But
using them
clearing the gate of gnolls and having it owned by the paladins is actually a better situation.
Is it?
I don't know. It means we have an in and out.
We already
Another
have an in and out.
true. Ugh.
I'd rather them not get a foothold and potentially steal the will of the king and destroy forever the idea behind Drakkenheim getting its own power back.
I came to this city to do detective work and solve a mystery, and I ended up mixed up with a political battle. Well, not my forte. Pluto,
Oh?
you still feel super Caspian?
I'm feeling pretty Caspian.
I gotta ask you a question, and I don't want you to take offense to this question, but I'm just gonna ask it.
Yeah, it's pretty big.
You know I care about you, right?
Yeah. Me too.
You're not after that will and testament, are you?
That will and testament? No. But what I am after in the cathedral, full disclosure, Caspian relics.
Okay.
Caspian relics is fine. I trust you. I just heard the words, a Caspian could rewrite that will, and I just wanted to make sure that you weren't asked by your family or your home to grab that will for them.
Well, I have no intention of rewriting that will.
Sweet. Yeah.
Awesome.
You're honorary Drakkenheim now.
Yeah.
You're wearing
I believe
you're wearing
that
my
will
mother's cape, so
and
your father's
and my father's armor. You're barely Caspian.
Yeah, are you sure you're Caspian? Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure you have Drakkenheim
it's
logos.
not what's on the outside. It's what's on the inside.
So you're like pie. The crust of you is Drakkenheim,
But the
but
filling
the
is...
filling is Caspian.
Oh, what filling
I
am
love pie.
What filling am I? I want to be meringue. No, that doesn't have a crust.
No, definitely like cherry, a bit of rhubarb.
Oh, yeah, just a little tartness.
Sweet and tart.
Sweet and tart.
That's you.
I'm a rhubarb pie.
All right.
Can I have ice cream?
Yes.
Oh, nice.
Do we know what ice cream is?
Yeah. They had ice cream.
Did Drakkenheim have an ice cream shop?
Yes.
You old Drakkenheim ice cream shop?
The old
Yeah,
waffle
but it
cone.
melted in the explosion.
Boo. Okay, team huddle over. So wait, actually no.
And break.
What's our plan?
I think you know what? If we can get the hooded lanterns to block their escapades into the city, and we can get there first, can at least figure out if the relics are there, because I think what's the most important is making sure that will and testament is found.
Agreed.
I might know somebody who can get us through these sewers into the catacombs. Who do you think?
Is it the Rat Prince? We all know him.
I was like,
Don't
do you
act
know
like
someone
he's your
else
friend.
that
He's
we don't?
our friend
He's
too.
Our friend too.
He's my best friend, other than you two, which I'm realizing now is kind of sad.
Aren't I your best friend?
Aside from you two, my best friend is a insane rat
I
man.
feel like Pluto is also my best friend now, though. Kind of
Yeah.
like, I think we're like triple best friends.
A
We need
trio.
like those necklaces that
We should have
best friends forever.
the Triforce.
Yes.
Of friendship?
Yes. Triforce of friendship.
Anyway, we should talk back to the Lord
Yeah.
Commander now. I think that we should still
We're
talk to
giggling to
the
each other.
paladins.
Oh yes, let's talk to
first.
the paladins. Figure out what they're all about.
See if we can hey, we'll go before you and we'll clear out some knolls. Make it easier.
We'll be the scouting party.
Yeah.
I can do that. I'm good at that.
I'm good at walking in a front door and blasting everything.
Because there's less of us and we're familiar with the city.
I am very familiar with the city.
You know the city.
What?
Didn't you grow up here?
Such a good plan.
And break.
Lord Commander, we're going to go talk to the Knight Commander.
That's not you.
That's not you. You're the Lord Commander.
You should be the day commander.
We're going to see if there's a way that they can hire us as a scouting party to go ahead of them. And then, is Petra's brother still listening?
Yeah.
Tell him to leave.
And then, I'm going to tell you the rest in private.
Yeah, we need to talk to you.
Fine.
And I glare at...
Ransom, Petra,
We have a
Guard.
mole problem.
come into my tent.
Whoa.
Hooray!
All right.
I go in.
What do you need to say?
Did you get our note?
Did you get our note?
Did you read our note? Did you see the note we made you?
I did.
Thoughts? Queries?
I don't like the idea of someone trying to smear my son.
Oh. So you didn't
I
Did we say
raised
this?
Petra and Ansem. They were orphans through the war, and I love them with all my heart, and they are loyal soldiers. And if you want to go dredging up rumors about my soldiers and questioning my judgment, we're going to have a problem.
See, the problem that I have is that we had interrogated some of the Queen's men, and one of them gave up information that they had eyes and ears inside the hooded lanterns. That's not the sort of information that you should take lightly, Lord Commander. And I think that you should question every member of your team, including your children, just to be absolutely sure. Because if there is a mole within your ranks, that's not the sort of thing that is going to be okay for reclaiming Drakkenheim.
With respect, if you can't trust family, who can you trust?
No one.
Look, Lord Commander,
That was a good line.
we're not saying it might not even be intentional. He may be being, it could be blackmail. He could be
Bamboozled.
spilling the beans to
could-
the wrong person.
Ansem is reckless and foolish, but he's brave.
He's also
And
in
he
love.
also knows what's right.
Well, foolish doesn't fall in line with, someone who wouldn't be fooled by the Queen's men.
He, from what information we have gathered, might be having a relationship with a member of the Queensmen.
And how do you know that these Queen's men aren't just setting out lies to sow distrust? That's exactly how you break the bonds of loyalty.
I don't know that, but how do you know that it's not true?
Because I trust my son more than I trust some two-bit bandit.
And
who's
who
just spewing words to buy their life.
who are the only ones to know we were going to the tower in the first place? Like, do you think about that, Commander? Because you and your
Yeah.
lanterns were the only one, and I have put my faith in the lanterns, and they've tried to lead me astray before. So I'm putting my foot down on this. You
That
need
was
to
an
look at your
ambush.
ranks.
I am well aware that there is an issue with secrecy within my ranks. And I am working hard to minimize its impact. But you're outsiders to this group. You are not Hooded Lanterns. You turn down your chance to join the ranks. I can't control you, and if I could, I would be telling you to fall in line.
Well, you don't have that sort of control, Lord Commander, and all I'm going to tell you is that I've had some experiences with family that I put my trust in, and it has been a disappointment. Not all family, but all I'm saying, I'm not telling you that you need to betray your son. I'm just telling you to be aware of any signs or red flags that come up. Don't be blind to it just because you love your son. Just look and listen and observe. And if something seems out of place,
How dare you give me advice
Uh-oh.
on parenthood? On command?
On
What do you
common
think you
sense.
know?
maybe more than you, it seems, if you're that blinded by your... You know what? I'm so sorry, Lord Commander. You're right.
Backpedal.
I'm not.
You keep your loyalty with your son, but now that means that there might be more people in the Hooded Lanterns that I'm uneasy about trusting. Because if what I heard was true, which I don't know if it is, then how do I know that information I tell you won't fall to the Queensmen? If there are eyes and ears in your group, that's something that should make all of us very nervous.
I don't blame you. It's hard to figure out who you can trust in this city. You have to trust actions more than words.
Exactly.
We've done nothing to go against you.
Exactly. Neither has my son.
Someone in your group has. And trust comes from the top down.
They call it trickle down trust. I'm gonna stop. I won't expand on that. I think we nailed it.
You're good.
I love
Nailed
that
it.
boy. He's a good soldier. Petra too. We're soldiers. And if they do have a knife poised to strike, I'll be the first one to slit their throats.
I mean, jail first, but
I mean,
So
there's
he
a
did
trial.
listen to me.
Thank you, Lord Commander, for your ears and your mouth.
Speaking of trust, though, we have to decide what we're going to do about the Silver Order.
yep.
I don't want them marching into the city, burning buildings down, taking relics, doing whatever they please. They've already asked if they could march through the Shepherd's Gate. They've already asked that if we could use our fortifications, and my answer is no.
Back to discussion on this topic. Do you have enough men to hold Temple Gate and Shepherd's Gate if we were to take Temple Gate?
Both gates can be held with a skeleton crew. We could do it. It would be a stretch. It would be hard, but it would be worth it.
Interesting. We might want to keep that one in our back pocket. If we're going to go talk to the Knight Commander in a moment
Yes,
here,
we are.
and if we don't like what he says, maybe Temple Gate should go to somebody else.
I have my doubts on whether or not we're going to be able to stymie their advance. In all likelihood, they're judging on their movements, they're poised to make an attack on Temple Gate in the next few days. We have a choice. We could help them, or we could not help them.
I think there could be a middle ground here.
We could help them until an incident occurs.
And we're really good at causing incidents.
I have a knack for things catching on fire that shouldn't catch on fire. And there's a lot of flammable objects amongst the paladins. So I don't want to kill any good people. But if it comes down to protecting the city, there might be some hard choices that need to be made, and
I don't want to kill good people either. From what I can tell about all of these people, they're good, they're noble, they have their hearts in the right place. But they are Illyrians, they're not from the city, and as far as I'm concerned, they might as well be a group of foreign invaders that are trying to take over my city. And I can't let that stand. If I have to spend their lives to retake this city, so be it. I would rather spend those lives in a valuable way.
I think we can agree to that. If we can avoid bloodshed between us, let's do it. But I think Drakkenheim should stay in the hands of Drakkenheim.
I agree. Their mere presence has kicked up a hornet's nest with these gnolls. And honestly, I believe there are a lot of those creatures in the city. Far more than we might be able to take on our own. But we can use these invaders to our advantage and maybe use them to draw out the Lord of the Feast.
Just thinking of that.
Pluto, you want a new trophy?
Yes. Is it the
Could get you a white pelt.
yeah, I could wear like a white like a coat? Like a cape?
You already have a cape.
Sure, yeah,
I'll get
cape.
a bigger cape.
Nevertheless,
Well,
we need to
Monty.
see what they're going to say
Yeah, definitely.
and what their intentions are.
Can we have one more group huddle?
Let's not keep the commander waiting too long, but
No.
short
Yeah.
group huddle.
Short group huddle.
I'm going to go tend to my men. We'll see you in their camp shortly.
Thank you, Lord Commander.
What are your thoughts, Pluto?
I think we need to compartmentalize even more.
Where are you going?
Explain.
Explain.
He could, he loves his kids, so he's not going to betray them. I get it. But also, I think if we tell the paladins, if we try to work with the paladins and we end up going in and doing stuff at the cathedral, then they'll know that we might have the relics if they eventually get there and they're missing. I think we should just listen to them and then run in and grab stuff and leave and just not tell anyone, so then no one knows we have it. That way we can hide it at the tower.
Based on everything that we've heard, though, the thing that makes me nervous is that that place might be swarming with more gnolls than we've ever fought before. Now, I know that we can do a ton of damage to gnolls. We've wiped out whole hordes of them, but
This is different.
yeah, I'm a little concerned on our skill level here. But I don't want to rely on either of these groups.
Do you think that the paladins would be able to draw the gnolls to the gate?
I think if we time it right, we could, go in during the chaos. And we could create a little of our own. Wink, wink, bomb, bomb.
Is Temple Gate operational? Like, does it have a functional portcullis and like...
Depends on who you ask.
Veo?
The gnolls.
Do I know if the portcullis is working?
Because if we that was my thought, is like go in during the fight, we go through the sewers or something, or the catacombs, and then
Yeah, but if we come up into the church and it's still swarming with gnolls, we're still going to have to deal with them.
If there's a fight happening, though, that's going to draw most of the gnolls out.
We assume.
we could also just blow
Why
the
would,
bomb up
if
in the
there's an
catacombs.
army approaching, you send your troops out to face the army. You don't keep them. I mean, you might keep a few back, but a few we can deal with. They're not going to keep
Yeah.
a large force back.
It's the big prize that I'm worried about. That what he does to the gnolls sends them into a craze, and they get much more vicious than what we're used to dealing with.
That's fine. Maybe they'll wipe out the paladins.
Yeah.
Or
Maybe the problem will take care of itself. We get the paladins to draw the gnolls out to Temple Gate. A war ensues. We sneak in through the sewers. We get the stuff without telling the paladins. We tell the paladins that we're going to go help them out. We sneak off, go into the sewers. They're fighting. We get the stuff. We come back out. We see how the battle's going. And I don't know how this ends. This is the problem. What's the ending of my plan?
Pluto, I still think it's a good idea what you said about not telling them. Because if, like, the more people that know what we're doing, the more I feel like people are going to turn around and backstab us.
We don't tell them what we're doing, but we still might need them to draw the majority of the gnolls out.
Agreed.
But we don't tell them that we're going after the stuff. We don't tell them that we're going into the cathedral. We don't tell them we're taking the sewers. We
And the
tell them
lanterns? What do we tell them?
Oh wait, doesn't the lady have the live vision?
Yep.
Oh, what if she asks us, "Are you gonna get this and go to the sewers?" I'm like, no.
Why would she ask that?
I don't know.
You never know.
I don't know. Now I'm panicking.
Don't worry, I'll do the lying. I'm really good at it. Nobody can see through my lies.
I think ultimately if we can figure out a
Do
way...
you believe me?
Wow, I do believe you. Was that a lie?
I believe you.
Good.
I think ultimately if we can draw the fire to the gate, then that'll give us a better chance, but I don't think it's going to eliminate the necessity of killing some gnolls.
We could also just maybe earn their trust a little bit by dealing with Temple Gate. Maybe that
I don't
is
want to
our
make it
ticket
easier
in.
for them.
Not
I don't want to
easier.
make it easier for them.
We could like, oh, I fell, and then I don't know what after that. I just fell.
I think we should go
Let's
to the
talk
Knight
to them.
Commander.
Yeah, let's
Okay.
talk to them, see what their perspective is.
As you wrap up your discussion, Virgil and a few of the other knights step out from the gates, and Virgil says, "The Knight Commander's ready to see you now. Are you coming in with this lot as well?"
We come in on our own accord, but we will be entering at the same time, yes.
So what's the deal? Are these Lord Commander? With respect, Virgil turns to Elias Drexel. Are these more yours, or are they like?
No.
No.
So why you got that badge?
We're from Drakkenheim. We do not represent the Hooded Lanterns or any other group. We are the Three Crows.
Oh, sorry, Jackson 3?
Veo on the Pussycat.
Three Crows.
Jackson 3?
So you're mercs.
No.
Yeah.
No, we're a group. Are you mercs?
What's a... No, we're...
Mercenaries, yeah?
Yeah,
like-
we're...
No. We're a group. We're a team. We're part of Drakkenheim. We
Yes.
represent
We're just not with the Hooded
the
Lanterns.
fixing and finding of the royal family.
Just
But
because
you ain't with the...
No.
we know them, but we're not with them.
Hooded Lanterns, Three Crows, Paladins of the
Jackson
Silver
3?
Flame.
Veo
Jackson
on the
3?
So you're who?
The Three Crows.
Jackson 3.
Veo and the Pussycats.
He looks over at Elias Drexel and the Lord Commander just...
We're working on a group name.
Well, we don't actually have... It's Jackson
I think
3.
it was like a band, but instead of music, we help save Drakkenheim.
But we also do plays sometimes.
It's true.
We actually
yeah.
have a traveling... look, we're getting distracted by the
Yes, I agree. Let's go.
We're separate.
They're not Hooded Lanterns. That's all you need to know, Sir Underwood.
Thank you.
and you just show your badge.
This is a relic from
Virgil says,
elder days.
"Well, with respect, Lord Commander, you gotta have a better eye on recruiting, because I saw these three just cut down like more than a dozen gnolls earlier in the city. Like, they're good. Give them that."
I look to the Lord Commander. I'm like, by the way, we were told money for gnoll kills. We don't have the heads, but you just heard it.
We
You
have
just heard it.
we have a witness.
We'll talk about this later.
Tuna.
All right.
Thanks, V-Wood, for repping us.
Virgil leads you into the camp as the seesaw sort of style gate opens up from the top.
Ooh.
So they draw the ropes up. The gate opens up into a large military encampment that has been immaculately organized. It is split into 4 even quadrants where you can see that there are several tents of soldiers all arranged in neat rows. And as you look on the individual rows, you can see that each group of tents has their own distinct, like they all have the same colors, which are the gold, silver, and red and white of the Silver Order, but all of them have a different field pattern that distinguishes the different units. And all of them as well seem to be organized into units, platoons, and then overall into this entire company of 200 soldiers, give or take. There's probably at least another 100 or so support staff of squires and porters that are managing all of the horses. By the gate, they've set up a large stable where they've hitched what must be probably at least 40 horses. They have several wagons of supplies, a large hospice tent that you pass by where they are tending their wounded, and you can see that there are priests of the sacred fire that are miraculously healing their wounded.
Oh.
And tending to them both in magical and mundane ways. They have set up an outdoor area where they can offer their prayers, where they have a large brazier set to the silver flame. And the entirety of the camp, though, is built around there's a second set of palisades inside around the command tent. So that also itself has 2 gates leading into it. So there's the outer structure where everyone is commanded, where all of the troops are, and then there's the internal command post itself. There's a high tower off the command post that rises up over the middle of the entire camp, and you can see there roosting are another half dozen griffins.
Ooh.
So they built a high
Make 'em
tower with the roost and the griffins that they're using as mounts.
As we ride in, I'm kind of looking at the ground. Am I able to find two, like, hand-sized flat rocks?
Everything's been pounded into mud, but there are a few bits of stone and gravel around that you could pick up. But perfectly flat rocks, you'd probably have to pick around for a couple minutes.
What about even as we were, like, coming from the other camp to this camp?
What are you looking for?
So, I'm looking for a way to communicate with my friends during the meeting without anybody knowing, and Mold Earth can write words on stone. So I was hoping to give them each a stone so that I can cause
Yeah,
words.
You can find something like that. Yeah.
Cool.
Cool. Kind of like, I can only really ask you guys yes or no questions when we're in there, and then you can nod or shake your head. But that way, if things are going south, we can kind of decide if we're on the same page or not. That's my thought.
Magic stone.
Walkie-talkie stones.
Walkie-talkie stones. Okay.
Okay. They bring you forward into the command post, where another large set of command tents and a few other smaller tents for the sergeants and lieutenants have all been set up. And the central command tent, this large square tent in the very middle, appears to be set up as a meeting place. As you come in to the central section, they have a empty racks of weapons, and they respectfully say, "Now, we all trust ourselves to be reasonable folk, but we'd either prefer that you tie your weapons down and peace bomb them, or you leave them here."
What's the first one?
If you wish to keep your weapons with you, we just ask that one of us is able to tie them in place so you cannot draw them.
I agree.
Makes sense to me.
I'll agree.
Do you tie your weapons too?
We will as well.
Cool. I present my bow around myself.
Cool.
Tie away.
They secure your weapons.
Your wand. They tie your wand to your chest.
It's like taped to my chest. I don't even know where I keep my wand. I still haven't gotten a holster for that. It's just in my pocket. I guess we can tape my pocket closed. Tape?
Yeah, you're really you're being liberal.
The Lord Commander, Petra, Ansem, and 3 other hooded lanterns are going to be coming into the meeting. The 3 of you have been invited, and you step into the command tent, where Virgil is posted as the guard, and seated at a long table that has space for all of you to sit are 2 people. One man is seated at the along the long edge of the table, and he is a tall but rather lithe man wearing fine chainmail and bits of plate and a plate breastplate. He has long, shoulder-length brown hair and a face full of stubble and a deep gash on crossing his right eye where he's placed an eye patch, and he's kind of tied a red bandana through his hair. Beside him is another figure. She is a heavy-set woman with smooth ochre skin and very large, plump hands that are kind of held in front of her, almost in prayer. And she has a very large, round face with elegant lines and dark freckles. You can't see her hair. She's got a rather large headdress on, and she's garbed in the robes of a priest, or what you would know as a flame keeper, which are high members of the clergy of the Sacred Fire. And as you're shown to your seats, and she takes the seat at the head of the table.
Knight Commander, Lady Flamekeeper, my name's Sebastian Crow. It's an honor to meet you.
She speaks and says, "Oh, now, Sugar, I'm not the Knight Commander. I am Flamekeeper Ophelia Reed. I'm just here to be the guide for all this conversation between y'all. This man here is the Knight Captain, Theodore Marshall."
I look to him. I just switch my gaze and I'm like, Knight Commander, my name is Sebastian Crow. It's an honor to meet you. And you as well. What did you say your name was? Sorry?
Ophelia?
Ophelia Reed.
Ophelia Reed. It's a pleasure to meet you. Sebastian, we're the Three Crows. This is
Jackson 3.
Veo Senya.
Jackson 3.
And Pluto Jackson.
From the Jackson 3.
Run that by me again.
Sebastian Crow.
Veo Senya.
Pluto Jackson.
And
of
we're
the
Veo
Jackson.
Three Crows. Guys, we need to talk after this.
No,
Ophelia,
there's no talking.
Elias, basically all of the people in the room look at each other with a huge look of confusion and just shrug.
We'll figure this out one day.
Yeah.
Veo, Sebastian, and Pluto at your service.
Yep.
Right.
Maybe.
Knight Commander.
Group.
Right. Says the... And with that, Ansem speaks up, and he says, and I will introduce the Lord Commander of the Hooded Lanterns of Drakkenheim, Elias Drexel, Captains Petra, and myself, Anton Lang, at your service.
Loser. I whispered.
I salute.
Theodore Marshall gestures for Elias Drexel to sit opposite him. And everybody takes a moment. And Ophelia speaks up and says, "We are all bounded together by the light. It protects us and calls us to do what's right in this world."
Sure.
I ask you all to submit yourselves now to the way of truth and forthwith, as I bless our meeting with a ritual.
Go on.
So, she is going to be casting... To say this in game terms, I'm going to be casting this ritual now that will just ensure the truth of all our words.
Oh no.
I ask you all to submit to this spell, and those of you that do not have no place in this meeting.
I can't counterspell without anybody noticing. I should have taken subtle spell. Oh well. Okay. That's not gonna happen.
You just wave your hand in the air. Woo!
Can I counterspell without them noticing? Would they think they still cast the spell?
She would... So... She has explained, basically, and to step away from the metagame and just express that this is expressed in the fiction, the caster of Zone of Truth knows who fails their saving throws against it and knows whether or not it's in effect.
Oh.
So, because of this, she is saying openly that she is going to cast the spell, and she is asking everyone to voluntarily fail their saving throws against it. And then she is going to, and with the caveat that anyone that does not will be asked to leave.
Does it affect the caster?
It does.
There you go.
Guys, this is where I'm not good. I've lied my way into and out of every situation that we've had in this game so far. So your main talker is about to get truth bound.
At least we'll get some answers. Pros
I'm
and cons.
afraid of what I'm going to say if I'm
You
truthful.
don't have to talk.
I like to talk.
I know you
So I'm
do.
going to open...
Drexel says,
You can just...
you understand, of course, that while we share your respect for truth and honest dealings, there are certain things that we cannot say to you. For the honor of our city calls to us there first.
Yeah, that sounds fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, can I also, if I want to, just not say anything?
I want to be truthful, but
Is
I
that
also
rude?
think that there are limits to what you should be able to ask of us.
If you ask us an inappropriate question, can we respond with pass?
Sweetheart, you are free to keep your mouth as shut as you want it to be. But if you open your mouth and you bring words into this room, they better shine with truth.
What if they don't?
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Well, I would say to you that if your words don't bring truth, if they do not illuminate the path for yourself and others around you, I would question what you are doing with your life.
I mean, not saying I'm not going to be truthful. I'm just saying what happens. Do I like glow?
Yeah.
Well, if you stay here in this room, you will not be able to lie.
Oh, okay. So, yeah.
All right.
I still think that we should be limiting and be able to not say things if they impede with the mission of...
You don't
Not
have
even
to.
mission.
You
Stay
don't
here in
have
this
to.
room. To separate.
Yeah.
If you stay in the room
Yeah.
and you submit to the spell,
Yeah.
you can't lie.
Oh,
But you don't have to talk.
okay, cool. Yeah.
But you can't lie.
I won't lie.
Okay.
What's the worst that could happen, guys?
Don't stop it.
All right.
Yeah, let's do it.
I'll be honest.
I submit.
Okay.
Be very
She
honest.
casts the spell Zone of Truth. And it takes its place on all those in the room. Do you fail your saving throws?
Yes.
Yes.
What does it feel like? Do I feel different?
It feels like a silver coating has taken it over your voice.
Because I'm so shiny.
And if you just test it,
I pick up a rock and I go, this is but instead of saying purple,
yeah, it's like you
brown.
can't
Ugh,
you can't force yourself.
this
to do it.
pen is royal blue. Yeah. Yeah.
I love tuna. I mean, I wasn't trying to lie there, to be honest.
That was an obscure reference to Liar Liar.
Very more Canadian performers here in the room. Okay. Theodore Reed speaks up. Thank you, Ophelia. I always appreciate your guidance in these situations. We'll carry on. So I was expecting a little bit of a warmer welcome from the locals here in Drakkenheim. I thought we were going to have a bit more of a friendly experience, but it seems like we've been the ones bringing the warm welcome so far.
Warm as in hot, yes, but not necessarily warm.
Are you purposely making a pun about fire? Because I do that a lot.
Really?
That's like his thing.
It's true.
Very good.
I enjoy a good pun. It's never really delivers very well, but I'm a fan of them and I make
I'm a
myself
fan of
happy.
sizzling humor myself. I love a good cracking joke.
I enjoy what you did there,
Ooh, she's
and
on
I
fire.
like you 1% better than I did 5 seconds ago.
And that's truth.
Well, I'm glad to hear that, partner. So, if I get this straight, you three pussycat crow, you're a bunch of mercenaries. You're just out here fighting for whatever you want, just a bunch of money. What are you all here for?
We're here to find out what happened to Drakkenheim and hopefully, along the way, be able to find some of the people who were in charge of Drakkenheim and rebuild some sort of, I don't know, group that can manage and run the city again. We're trying to raise it from the ashes. And we've actually done a lot of good work so far, and we found a lot of good clues, and we're very happy with the work that we've been doing, which is why we were surprised when there were suddenly fires spreading through Drakkenheim.
I'm tired of being called mercenaries.
Yeah, we're
That's the truth.
we're a group just like you, just like the Hooded Lanterns. We're just smaller.
And more powerful.
Fair enough, partners. What about you, miss? You from Drakkenheim?
I've lived here my whole life.
Wow, I'm impressed. That's true. It's working, right, Ophelia? So, you mean to say you've lived here 15 years all through all this mess?
More than 15 years. I've been here for the 15 years, but I've lived here my whole life.
I'm impressed with you. And why you stay?
Because I, like Sebastian said, am trying to find people who are important to me.
And who are those people?
My family.
And how do you know they're not dead?
I believe in my soul that they are still alive.
Well, that's the truest way to... That's the truest thing. We all gotta fight for what's true, for what we believe in. And if you got family, you love them, you miss them.
They're my only thing. Other than my new family.
Hi.
You,
What's up?
Pluto Jackson.
Pluto Jackson, Caspian Prince.
Indeed. What's a Caspian prince doing here in Drakkenheim?
Well, all my friends are dead because I got them killed in a cellar.
So
of
these
rats.
two aren't your friends then?
Well, they are my friends. Okay, I guess all my friends except 2 are dead. 3. These are new friends.
And
My
you ain't
old
got
friends.
any friends back home?
I do. I have a family back home.
Ah, so you mean all your friends here are dead?
Yeah.
Okay.
All the friends that I brought here are dead. I'm trying to be so truthful, ma'am. Sir? Who am I talking to? Am I talking?
Theodore.
Theodore. Sorry, Knight Commander.
Theo.
I'm just a little being on the stand. It's got me all sweating.
It's all right, Pluto. You got this.
Now, that didn't answer my question, friend. Prince Jackson.
Prince Jackson. Oh, that sounds nice. Yeah, that's me.
What brought you here to Drakkenheim?
I need to restore the honor of my family.
And what do you mean by restore? How do you think you're going to restore the honor of your family by coming here to this city?
By killing monsters and recovering lost Jackson artifacts.
What kind of lost Jackson artifacts?
There's one in particular that I really want. Well, my dad wants. It's a sword. I know what it looks like because he's told me what it looks like. And it belongs to him.
As you say this, Elias Drexel speaks up. Says, I don't understand. With respect, Knight Commander, I don't understand why you are grilling these people on their personal goals. To which Theodore says, I'm just trying to get to know them. That's all. I just want to helps me figure out, in the spirit of honesty, what we're all here for.
Knight Commander, why burn your way through Drakkenheim? What's your purpose? Why do you want to get to that cathedral so bad?
We are all united under the light. And darkness has shone upon that cathedral for far too long, and this cannot stand. It is a holy place, which has the bones of heroes there. Those bones, those relics of our faith, need to bask in the light again. This place, this city, has become a blight on the land. It is a scar. It is a wound that will not be healed. And we are here to do what's right in our hearts and soothe this wound and bring back the order that was once here.
Knight Commander, if I may, you have arrived on the doorsteps of Drakkenheim in the midst of many other groups that have represented Drakkenheim for a long time, finally getting the leeway they needed to start closing that wound. It's taken 15 years, but the healing process has begun. So why do you believe that you have more of a claim over this city than the ones who have been working for 15 years?
Now, with respect, Lord Commander, Sebastian, we aren't here to claim any sort of authority over this city. It is not our intent, in the very least, to do that.
Good.
So when you find these artifacts, or if you get these artifacts, does that mean you are going to leave with all your soldiers? Because that is what you stated as your intent.
We're here, and we're going to stay here until this city's back on its feet again.
But it's not your city to protect. It's ours. And like you said, you are here to get relics to shine them into the light again.
All people and all places are one in the sacred fire. Our bonds of fraternity, sorority, go deeper than the borders of our nations.
If any of the royal family were to remain, which is one of the things that I think we're all searching for, would you agree that they should be able to take back the throne of Drakkenheim and rebuild this city and have a say in that?
He sighs and says, now, the way on I understand it, no one here has seen a member of the royal family in 15 years. Have any of you seen a member of the royal family?
I will answer your question with another question.
There's a palpable pause in the air. As Ophelia Reed speaks up, she says, child, you hesitated for a moment there.
You stated just a moment ago that if we believe it in our soul, that's enough to go on with her and her family. I believe it in my soul. I believe that it's true that a member of the royal family is still alive, and that is something that I strongly believe.
Me too.
And I'm willing to fight for it.
Okay, so we're going to stop.
Okay.
You don't believe that. You know it's true.
In my soul, I know it. I can't word this. You're not going to let me pick the words carefully?
Well, you know it's true in your soul that someone's
Okay.
alive.
You're going to choose your words really carefully.
Mm-hmm.
Give me a deception check. Word creative
Zone
word
of
choice.
truth, deception.
Yeah, it's possible. Creative word choice, metaphor, works.
18.
My soul.
Ophelia stands up. She looks at you in the eyes. Have you seen something in there? Have you seen something in that city?
Did I fail? Or am I...
She's
okay.
asking you.
I have seen so...
No. Have you... And as she goes to say it, Elias Drexel stops. And he looks up at you. Yes or no? Have you seen a member of the royal family of Drakkenheim?
Yes. Would you like an explanation?
Yes.
We went to Queen's Park Garden. There we found handmaidens of the Queen who led us back to the Queen herself, who was a mutated monster. I pulled out a mirror and exploded her eyes. And then we left.
there's a moment of silence in the room. We're going to take a break right there.
Ah! That was good. Tension.
You didn't have to say anything, but you.
I figured if I gave them a story that didn't end with that ended with it sounding like the queen was dead, that would be a truthful answer that maybe
And we did leave after.
We did leave.
nothing I said was a lie.
I can tell no lies.
Creative word choice.
I'm so scared of everything right now. Before we dive into the ruins again, I want to give a big thank you to Axe and Shield for the amazing accessories he's given us. We have the initiative tracker, which we haven't seen yet this game, but you see it in most other games. And he also makes some really amazing flight stands and other products. So check out Axe and Shield. We also have tabletop audio for the great ambient music you're hearing. And finally, we have 100 Years Boar, who does the narration in our intro video. So thank you to him as well. If you're enjoying the stream and you want to support our work, you can check us out on our Patreon at patreon.com/dungeon_dudes.
And of course, tonight's episode of Dungeons of Drakkenheim was sponsored by Skull Splitter Dice. We've been rolling some other awesome metal dice, which have helped me pass several insight checks.
Is that what you've been rolling?
And of course, they roll really, really well. I really, really enjoy them. And you can pick up a set for yourself at skullsplitterdice.com, where you can use the discount code DDUDES at checkout to save 15% off your first order of these awesome premium metal dice. Of course, as we mentioned before, we are still running a giveaway with Skull Splitter Dice for one of our lucky viewers. You can follow the links below to a giveaway where if you subscribe to us on YouTube or follow us on Twitch, you only have to click through to confirm your entry. You also get a +1 bonus for following us on Twitter as well. So that everyone knows, these giveaway links will not appear when we post this on YouTube, because YouTube has recently changed their community guidelines and asked us to remove the links. So until we figure out what's going on with YouTube's new policy, we will not be running the giveaway through YouTube, but you'll still be able to access the giveaway through Twitch and Twitter. With that, we come back to the command tent at the center of the Silver Order's encampment. Here at a long table underneath a canvas tent lit by a few silver braziers and a warm hearth, with a few goblets of wine laid out and a few bits of food and hardtack. No, not hardtack. A few bits of food, some hunting that the paladins have done. They've brought out some food, few fruits, dried nuts, bits of dried meats as well, some bread. They are breaking bread with you with they brought out a little bit of salt. There's notes all scattered about. Ophelia reads, seated at the head of the table, with to her right the knight captain Theodore Marshall, and to her left the Lord Commander Elias Drexel, with the rest of the Hooded Lanterns seated on the left-hand side, and you all on the right-hand side. Elias Drexel stands at the table, his hands forming into fists on the table as he listens to your response.
I grab the wine and I start drinking.
Did you leave her there?
It was out of my control.
Did you leave her there? You're an idiot. Did you leave her there, you Caspian cur?
Hey, there's no... Is that true? What he say about me is true?
He believes it to be true.
It has to be true. We took her body from the tomb.
Is she dead?
She wasn't dead when she left.
Is she alive now?
We don't know.
He turns to the Flamekeeper. Madam, whatever magic you've worked here is remarkable. I like you. She blushes. When did this happen? Veo, you grew up with her. You knew Lenore. Is she alive or dead?
She's not, when we saw her, who she once was. She's...
I can't get a straight answer out of any of you. Where is she, and why didn't you bring her to us?
The queen that you know is dead. What we fought was a monster. We took her body out. We don't know her current state.
That's a straight answer. We can't tell a lie.
Where is she?
I start eating food.
What I do
Theodore
know
Marshall
is...
back.
Oh.
This is true. You found the queen. So where is she now? We all want to know. I think I agree with you on this, Commander. It seems like your mercenaries haven't been full wrath with you.
We are
Glad we
not
showed up.
mercenaries. We are working to restore
Well, you're certainly
Drakkenheim.
acting like a bunch of mercenaries.
And so are you. Asking me all these personal questions, not considering us a group. We've told you 3 times now not to call us mercenaries, and you're not listening.
You also haven't told us that you're going to be leaving Drakkenheim after 2.
You're beating around the bush on our questions the same way we're beating around on yours, and that's how this seems to be working.
Yeah.
So, where's the queen? Well, that's for us to know because we don't know who to trust right now. We don't trust you. And right now, I don't trust certain members of the Hooded Lanterns. Hey, what's his name?
Him, the brother.
Yeah.
Brother. Are you working with the Queensmen?
Elias Drexel interjects. How dare you bring that up?
We're in the zone of truth. It's a great time to get answers.
Have you been messing around?
We're going to find out one way or another with a
Ansem.
simple yes or no.
Ansem.
Isn't that just going to put this all to rest?
Answer the question.
He turns to Ansem. Boy, you don't have any dealings with that Queen of Thieves, do you? And Ansem says, no, I don't.
Do you have any dealings with her men?
Or women?
No, I don't.
Then do you know of anyone in your ranks that would?
No, I don't.
Petra?
Petra, what about you?
She says, no, of course not.
Lord Commander?
Lord Commander, or...
No, I don't.
Sweet. All
I
right.
told you that I knew who I could trust in my unit.
Well, now we know we can trust you.
And now we know too. Thank you. We're learning a lot about each other.
I don't trust anyone here.
If you don't...
Except you guys.
Funny how you think that it's possible for someone to be an unwitting informant. It's still possible that that boy there, that girl there, they could all be feeding in information to them blasted thieves without even knowing it.
Well, we still don't know truly when you're going to leave the city. When are you willing to take your men out of the city?
The moment Drakkenheim can stand on its own 2 feet, and once again, when it does not need us anymore, we will leave.
Would you leave it to the people of Drakkenheim, or would you have a foothold here?
The Knight Captain says, to be honest, I can't promise you that, because that's not my decision to make.
And whose decision is it?
That would be the hierarch. We're just soldiers here, just like you, Lord Commander. We all have folk we gotta answer to. We all have instructions on what we gotta do. And I know you're curious about when we're gonna leave, what we're doing here. But we've been sent by the hierarch here to do what's right. This is our holy mission. The light has shown us this way, and this path, and this quest. And we're just here to do what's right.
And if the hierarch tells you to stay and take over Drakkenheim because you believe it's the right thing to do, would you do it? Because I don't know what the hierarch's going to say, but I know what and how many people you have here and what you're willing to do in order to do what you think is right.
Ophelia speaks up and she says, the hierarch speaks for the flame itself. She speaks only with wisdom and truth. And if we were to stay here, it would be because we needed to. We don't have any interest in conquering the city, unless that is the will of the flame.
So, if you were to consider it the will of the flame, you would conquer this city, regardless of what the people living here want.
The knight captain speaks up. Well, until 5 minutes ago, we didn't know that a member of the royal family was still alive. And now you're telling us a bunch of gobbledygook about her being some kind of monster or something like that. Evidently, we got something to sort straight, because if indeed the Von Kessels still live, then by all rights, we ain't got no authority here. And then we're just here to help.
What I also know is that regardless of what happened to the queen, we don't know what happened to her children, and we're here to find that out.
Drexel speaks up. You're not hiding any of your children, are you?
No. Currently, the queen is under our protection, but she is not.
Where is she?
We're not answering that.
We're not answering that. Because there is a possibility of information getting to the wrong people. And so far, we haven't made up our minds on who we can trust and who we can't. I'm very happy that the three of you sitting here under the zone of truth have proven to at least believe that you are not giving information to any other sources. The reason why you were not given this information sooner was because exactly that. We had been told that there was a leak of information within your lines. Therefore, we took it upon ourselves to protect the most valuable asset we had found. That being said, the queen is in no condition to do anything right now. We found a monster. We fought a monster. That monster tried to kill us. That monster was not the queen. And until we can find out what has happened to the actual queen, this situation is under our protection. And you need to start treating us with a little respect, because we are a group fighting for the same thing as you and protecting the same thing as you.
And so far have done a better job of protecting it.
Way I see it, you three haven't decided whether or not you like this man or not, whether you trust this man or not. I think all of us are just looking for the same thing, to be perfectly honest, and you seem to be making it more complicated than it needs to be.
If I'm ever given information that there's a leak in the lines, I need to question that, and I need to solve that puzzle before I decide who can receive vital information. That makes sense. That is a tactical option that makes sense. And you can't argue that.
You three have a Caspian with you. How do I know that this Caspian isn't pulling the strings on this whole thing? Gonna take the queen and marry her off to... Then the Caspians would have complete control over the...
And you doubt my intention for letting a Caspian do that?
He's your friend, isn't he?
But Drakkenheim
How do you know you
is
can
my
trust him?
family. I can trust him.
He's saved our lives many times. He's fought for us. He's fought by our side. He has held me while I almost died and fed me a potion. This man is my best friend, and I care about him more than I care about most other people I've met here. I trust him with my life,
Me too.
and I don't think he's going to stab us in the back.
And I think he's put his life on the line more than the lanterns have put for theirs. For either of us.
I'm touched. Not gonna lie, I did want to abandon the queen when we first found her. 100%. that was honest.
Yes.
But I came around.
He killed a troll
I killed at least one troll.
to save us.
It was actually for a bet. It was kind of a bet. It was sort of a gambling.
Nothing.
Yeah, I guess it was more to save rats. Anyway,
I think I want to bring it back
yeah, we're getting
to...
off track.
I want to bring it back to the idea behind why the Sacred Flame wants anything, any relics from here, and why your foothold needs to be here.
And why after 15 years? Why not the day after the meteor hit?
Why it's taken us 15 years to get out here? Your guess is as good as mine. If I had to guess, if anything, past 15 years haven't necessarily been kind around this world. What with all the wars, all the combat, all the fighting, this whole city's laying fallow for years and years. The Lord Commander Drexel, he adds in, it is true. It really has only been in the past 5 years that even within the Hooded Lanterns we've been able to mount a coherent operation. We've only had our barracks at Shepherd's Gate reclaimed for a couple of years now. For years and years, the city was a wasteland, and it swallowed up anybody that dared approach it. There's been 15 years of war, bloodshed, people fighting over the carcass of the remains of this kingdom, trying to decide who could. Caspians, Illyrians, the Westmars, all of us have been fighting and killing each other for 15 years, trying to decide who's going to be in control of this city. And no one's actually been able to control it.
And then 3 little, as you called us, mercenaries wandered in, and suddenly Drakkenheim is looking more and more like it might be able to be fixed.
Now, you might believe that, friend,
I do.
but there's a lot of work to be done.
I
Don't
agree.
get so self-congratulatory too soon. Now, my boys here have told me impressive things about you all and your skills, but we're a long way off from even saying this city's even in a semblance of control. You could go out there and die, and everything you've worked for, everything you think you've achieved, would be gone overnight. And no one would know where the queen is, because you aren't telling us.
There's 3 of us.
Drexel speaks up. I agree. I think you need to tell me where the queen... You don't need to tell me now, but when this meeting is over, I need to know where she is.
You need to figure out who is dirty in your ranks before we're going to tell you anything.
Somehow the Queen's men knew where we were and where we were going to be when the Hooded Lanterns were the only ones who knew.
I'll deal with that problem.
Once you do, I will give you that information. That's the deal. You need to start treating us with respect. We've treated you with respect this whole time. We're doing great work, and you know it. We are helping. We are on the same
Tell
side.
me where the queen is. You're not setting foot in the city again.
That's what you think.
Is he telling the truth? He looks like it.
You've been having the run, going in and through our gate. We've been nothing but kind to you, working with you.
Except for the fact that one of your men gave us up and we could have died not because of the monsters, but because of the information your people are giving out.
Well, fortunately you didn't. And I'll do a better job of that.
And that's because
But
of
we
our
have to be able to
skill.
work together, and if we're going to continue working together, I need to know where the queen is.
Hey,
Well, then
pay
we
our-
won't work
we
together.
pay our fare.
Fine.
We
then
pay our
won't.
rent. What?
Yeah, we've been holding up our part of the deal. If you found out you were working with another group and you found out that information that you gave to that group, whether it was through the commander or one of their high-ranking members, was leaked, what would your actions be? Would you continue to just give valuable information to that group?
You're an outlier, and if you were under my command, I would demand answers of you.
If he was under your command, we wouldn't have done nearly any of the work we've done so far.
It's debatable.
No, that's fact. We're in a zone of truth.
Zone of facts.
Zone of facts.
Knight Captain, I have nothing more to say to these three. I'm willing to deal with you in good faith, but these three aren't willing to even come to the table. As far as I'm concerned, they can leave this meeting.
We're willing to come to the table with them.
We're here. We're here to fight for Drakkenheim. We're here to restore Drakkenheim.
Yes.
We're doing a better job than the Hooded Lanterns so far, so
We're here. There's three of us. Get used to it.
Which is too bad because the Hooded Lanterns stand for something so good for Drakkenheim. And the fact that they're letting their egos get in the way is causing harm to what our group stands for. I think you need to think about that, Commander.
We're here in a zone of truth. You're hearing the good word of me and my closest captains, and you won't give me a straight answer. I have nothing more to say to you.
I've given you only but the truth.
The Knight Captain speaks up. I don't know what to make of this myself. Seems like you three and the Lord Commander can go tit for tat. I just want to know. Frankly, I'm impressed with the three of you. I'd like to work with you. I'd like to see all of us working together right now. But I don't see how that's possible if you're not going to tell him what he wants to know. And to be perfectly honest, I agree with him. I think you should be telling him where the queen is. I don't need to know where she is. I'd like to know.
So both of you, leaders of groups of military, think it's okay that with a leak of information within one of those groups, it's okay to give possibly the most important information that Drakkenheim has heard to that group that possibly has a leak. You, Knight Commander.
With respect, I can tell you, as a commander and as another commander, you three are wild cards. No matter how good your word is, no matter how good your swords are, no matter how faithful your spells might be, you are not under this man's command. You are not under my command. And any commander is going to tell you that they're going to trust those under their own command more than a wild card like you. That's just the way of it. I trust my men implicitly. I would trust them till the end of the world. And yes, if I knew that there was someone against me in my order, I would be very distressed about it, and I would take it very, very seriously.
That's what we're asking. And until that time, it doesn't make sense for us to give the most important information we have until that's 100% resolved.
Way I see it, the bigger liability in the situation is you. Because there's far more that the Lord Commander here can do about one of his own men than he can do about you at this stage of the game. The Lord Commander bristles at that and says, "No, there's plenty that I can do about these three."
Oh.
I think you underestimate our abilities and our knowledge of the city that I've grown up in and the skills of your warriors. But ultimately, Commander, my goal, my number one concern is the Queen's safety. And if that is my concern, she is not going anywhere near the lanterns.
That is my concern too. That's why I need to know. That's why I need to bring her under my protection. Wherever it is you're keeping her is no safer than under my care and protection. The safest place for our queen is with her guard, who have sworn an oath to protect her.
And the fact that you believe that that's truth, knowing that there is a mole, concerns me.
That truth is the only thing we have. It's the only thing that we have.
Can I ask you a question, Commander? And I'd like to remain on as decent a terms as we can here. Honestly, the condition that the Queen has found herself in is something that we have left in the hands of somebody who knows about how to deal with delirium. She is infected with a sickness that I don't think anybody within your ranks has the means to solve.
Then bring this person in with them too. We'll protect both of them. If you think that you found someone that can help her, that's fantastic. We'll put your doctor under guard. Lord Commander, Ophelia Reed here is the finest healer I've ever met. If there's anybody in the world that can do anything for your queen, it's her.
I worry that everybody wants the queen, but no one's telling us what you're going to do to her or do with her. Like, it's all well and good protection and saving, but she was gone for 15 years. We found her. We're the only ones that went in there looking for her. And now you all fight over her like a prize. This isn't some trophy for Illyria. This isn't some relic to guard. This is a person. And right now she's in the best care. She's hidden and no one knows where she is but us. And I think it needs to stay that way. For now.
Make a persuasion check. With advantage.
Yeah, Pluto.
-16. -1. It's hard.
Ophelia Reed speaks up. I don't know if the three of you had the best judgment in what's right for the queen, but I agree with what you say. She's a woman. She's a person. She's a human. She was, whatever it is. She does not deserve to have two lout-like men fighting over her like some kind of prize. If anything, when she comes to, you'll need to answer to her, Lord Commander. Now, I want to do what's right here. I've seen too many people throw their lives away in this city. I've seen it consume folk. I've heard the things. I've seen the hurt that people have done in the name of what's right. There's a whole bunch of folk that are coming into the city with a promise that they'll be saved down there. You've seen them?
Yes, we've met them.
Yes.
There's a whole bunch of folk here think that they're doing what's right. And nobody really knows what they're doing. That's all I know. We have to trust that the light in our hearts and our souls will show us the way. And I believe you when you say that you think you are doing what's best and what's right. I don't know if what you're doing is what's best and what's right. But I believe you, and I know that you
Thank
believe
you.
it. Now, you two and these two men, you can all bicker as much as you like. And you're going to have to deal with that. But what's happened to that woman?
We've been conducting research on the haze in Drakkenheim and the effects it's having. Whatever happened to her, I don't have a straight answer for you. But the meteor crash, the delirium, and the haze have somehow affected her in ways that we've never quite seen before. A lot of the mutants and creatures that you've been burning down may have been people once. That's something we're trying to figure out. There's a lot of mysteries in Drakkenheim right now. The Queen is one of them, and we're just trying to get her the best care.
And do you think we can save them?
Yes.
I would like to rule out any and all possibilities before I go murdering them. I want to find out what happened to Drakkenheim, and I want to see if there's a way to undo what the delirium and the haze have caused.
You three have the potential to do some good work here in this city. But right now, you don't know who you want to work with. You don't know who to trust. I don't blame you. But we gotta decide here what to do next. And we need to decide whether we're gonna work together or we're gonna keep bickering about this because we all have a different way of thinking what's right.
If I can bring us back to the topic on hand with the burning of the city, is there a way that we can go about this without burning down Drakkenheim, with the information that you've now been given that there is a lot of work being done here to restore Drakkenheim?
The Lord Commander the Knight Commander takes over from here. Look it. Now, I don't have any intention, nor do I have the resources to burn down your entire city. What we have with us in our supplies is only enough for us to secure and control the Cathedral of St. Vitruvio. And our next target is that temple gate, because this man over here won't let us through Shepherd's Gate. And I tell you, he's stubborn. And as far as I know, he's not going to let you through that gate either now that you won't tell him where the Queen is. So, we're both at an impasse. So, if I might offer to you, you can keep the Queen under your control for now. But, you help us take Temple Gate, you help us get to the Grand Cathedral. You don't need to work with him anymore.
There are certain items in that cathedral that belong to Caspia, and there are certain items in that cathedral that must stay in Drakkenheim and must stay in the hands of those who are of Drakkenheim. I need assurance that you won't be taking any of Drakkenheim's items. Or Caspia's.
We will turn over anything that is the right property of the Drakkenheim royal family to the Drakkenheim royal family and to no one else.
No.
What if
Well,
we
if you have a member of the royal family, what's the problem?
we can deliver those items to them? That was our original plan. We would like to deliver those items to her. There's things that need to be protected. You're not from Drakkenheim, so why would we let them fall into your hands over members of this city?
Fair enough.
We may be not in good books with the commander, but I still align with his beliefs of what is
So you're
truly right to do with this city.
You're just going to help them now? You're just going to turn coat?
I didn't say that. I'm saying that you, Commander, I believe what you believe is correct, that Drakkenheim should be left to Drakkenheim. But we seem to be at odds with our current decision.
Right now, the three of you have the biggest heads I've ever seen. You three think that you three and you three alone get to be the ones that decide what's best for the city. Like you three and you three alone can do anything. Just walk over everybody here. But there's an order to this city. There was an order to this city. And that order is what it's founded on. And it needs to be respected. And if
yet,
you're just going to trash all over that?
where's our respect, Commander, for any of the work that we've done?
You'll get respect when it's given.
I respect order that can keep order, too.
And who's the judge of whether we deserve respect? Is it you?
As the only surviving ranking officer of the small council of the city of Drakkenheim, absolutely.
Well, we don't know that you're the only surviving one. You're the only face right now, but you're not the only surviving one.
I know you think your father's still alive.
I
and
know my father is
pray
alive.
to the flame that he is. But your father... Your father is a good man, but he's a glorified butler. When it comes to matters of military import, I am the authority on the small council. Even if he survived, it would be my decision to make.
I'll make sure to report your attitude and your willingness to work with us to the Queen once she's come to. Seeing as in 15 years, none of your men were able to find her, but yet we just went for a walk in the park. We're able to retrieve the Queen. But hey, I guess that doesn't deserve a lot of respect now, does it?
And the Queen respects my father more than anyone and trusts him.
Had you brought her to me directly,
She'd be dead.
For all we know.
for all you know,
Perhaps you just can't wrap your head around the fact that the Queen is under our protection and you don't like that.
you three think that you are the movers and shakers. You think that you've done all this.
A little bit.
We've done something that nobody else has, and
But
we
you
think it's
ignore
important.
all the blood and lives that have been spent in this city already. All the people that had to fight and die for what little we have of it right now to keep this place safe. If it weren't for the Hooded Lanterns, Everwood Village would have been overrun 12 years ago. Completely. If it weren't for the Hooded Lanterns, there wouldn't be any foothold in Shepherd's Gate. If it weren't for me and my soldiers dying every day, there wouldn't even be a semblance or a hope of any control here. So when you say that you think we haven't done anything, I am profoundly insulted.
Okay, so we're all insulted then. So that's great.
It's even.
And yet you still won't address, you're talking about big heads in this room, and we came to you saying, you have a mole, so we don't want to give you information, and you've just been pig-headed about that since the moment we brought that to your attention. I think it needs to be dealt with much more elegantly, and I thought we were on the same side until you got all up in our face about the fact that we are being cautious with important information. And that to me is just smart. We're being smart about our decisions. We're trying our best.
What could I do to prove to you that that information is going to be safe?
Bring all your soldiers through a zone of truth.
Every single one of them.
We just did.
Look, Commander, I think we're going around in circles, and there's a lot of he said, and you want this and you want that. What you need to know is that the Queen is safe, and that we're here to protect her as well. And we don't want any harm to come to her. And I do think you take this matter seriously. But now is not the time to decide the Queen's fate. We have a big Knoll problem. We have some new friends from Illyria who are here looking to take the cathedral, and you're making it difficult for them to do their job. Why not? Let's figure out how we can save Drakkenheim together as a family.
If everything they say is true, that means that since the Queen is alive, they have no reign here. Meaning that if they are just here to help us get rid of our Knoll problem, which we have all agreed would require an army, perhaps there is an option for all of us to work together to make Drakkenheim safer. And if they agreed that the relics within that cathedral will go to their rightful owners, this means that it could be a win-win situation, a win-win-win situation.
Win-win.
3 wins mean all 3 of us win.
As long as Drakkenheim wins.
And Drakkenheim wins. And that's what we're all here to talk about, and that is what we all want.
Lord Commander, I'm interested. What do you propose?
We have some connections, as long as they're not dead, to get in and out of the city. If Lord Commander will allow us, we can continue using that route. We can find out more about the cathedral.
At this moment, I'm actually going to use mold earth to make words appear on both of your rocks.
My rock!
That basically just says, do we let them, or like plan ?
Oh, no!
We go underground. They draw out Knolls ?
Yes.
Yeah? Let them know?
Yeah.
Yeah? What we're proposing is we are a small team, and there are benefits to being a small team. The reason why we've been able to accomplish what we have is because we can get in and out of places without making a lot of noise. Mostly.
That's
mostly.
a lie.
We can help. We help with the noise.
We get in and out of places easier because we're a small team. Because of that, if we can draw most of the Knolls away from the cathedral, we might be able to access it through underground routes, therefore clearing out what's left of the Knolls inside the cathedral and hitting them from behind and securing the cathedral for all of us. Then we and the 2 commanders go into the cathedral together and we all get what we want openly so that we all agree that everybody's getting what they want from that cathedral.
Good plan.
So you're saying you want me and my men to form some kind of distraction?
You were going to march on Temple Gate anyway. We think that that's enough to draw the gnolls out. If you're taking down their gate, they're going to send forces to try to stop that, especially if it's an army approaching. So your plan that you already had just needs to continue. If the Hooded Lanterns help, we have an even better chance of wiping out the gnolls at Temple Gate, and a bigger force means they're going to send more troops, leaving underground open for a small force, which is what we're best at, to go in,
Strike force.
Scout it out,
destroy any gnolls that are hanging around there, and make sure that it is secure, and maybe even be able to hit them from behind and help out in that way. Together, 3 strikes, the Hooded Lanterns, the Paladins, and the 3 Crows.
Strike force.
Strike Force.
Is that our new name?
3 Crows
So-
Strike Force? Or
No,
just
just
Strike Force.
get rid of the 3.
After the Lord Commander says, so you're saying the Hooded Lanterns and the Silver Order attack Temple Gate together,
As a family.
while you 3 go under the cathedral and do what?
up through the catacombs. They will leave gnolls there to protect the relics. We're going to clear those out. That's something that we can do. And then we're going to, move on Temple Gate from there? While the war's happening, we can hit their back lines.
Yeah.
This is like a kind of also a / brainstorming session.
Yeah, I'm open to other ideas, but you can kind of see where we're...
We have an outline.
There's a plan forming
there's a
here.
foundation.
We have a good foundation for a plan that involves all 3 of us working together and all 3
We
of
have
us winning.
30% of a plan.
I'd say we have 75% of a plan, thank you, Pluto.
That's a big... Okay, I'll give it 48.
60?
Like
Ideally.
67.
We'd like to secure control of both Temple Gate and the cathedral. We don't want to just cause a distraction so you can get in there and sneak out with something. We actually want to secure that holy site.
We're going to, together, kill the Lord of the Feast, is that his name?
Yeah.
And end the gnolls' ownership of Temple Gate and the cathedral.
I worry that trying to hit both sites at the same time is stretching our forces thin.
We have more forces now, though.
That's true.
You'll be hitting them from the front.
But even with our men and paladins doing a strike on Temple Gate from both sides, it's going to be tough. Do you have any means to help us under Temple Gate?
Are you asking for an explosion? Because I tend to be quite good at those.
No. We can't entertain the possibility of actually destroying the gate. We probably need it to actually secure the city itself.
Noted.
I don't think we have the firepower for that anyways.
We could
Definitely lay siege to it, and with our aerial support and with our ground troops, if the gnolls don't have proper siege preparations in place, which I've never known a gnoll to have that kind of intelligence, we could probably take it. It would be bloody, we'd have a lot of losses, but between our griffins, the Hooded Lanterns can come in from the sides, the strike force, get someone in there, throw the gates open, we could take it.
We could take it together.
One other thing, the gate and the wall are made of stone, meaning that they can stand up to fire pretty well. Now, I don't want you burning the whole city down, but we've agreed that you're not here to do that. But burning those gnolls out of Temple Gate is a possibility. You have the means to do that.
We do. Probably gonna have to break the gate in the process, but we could repair it if we held it.
That would be ideal. If it means killing all the gnolls in Temple Gate.
I've got one more question for you, Commander.
Which commander? Knight commander?
Knight Commander. Captain Commander.
Captain Commander.
You say you want to take the cathedral, but what's your plan to deal with the delirium?
Now, I don't rightly know. From there, I suspect our next target is to try to do what we can about that crater. I've heard that there's no end to the corruption coming out of that thing.
So it's not just
once
the
we're
relics.
in the city, no, it's our first goal. But once we're in the city, if we secured this kind of foothold on the city, if we work together and we actually gain a foothold in the middle of the city, then perhaps all of us could work together and we could retake other parts of the city by working together. We could find out what's in the crater. We could make the route safe for any of them pilgrims or find out what they're up to there. We could investigate that old mage tower and see if there's any knowledge left there. Maybe in that mage tower there's some resources or magic that we could use.
I make a frowny face appear on both of your rocks and say Amethyst Academy, foothold, frowny face.
I think we should take it one step at a time.
The Knight Commander, or the Lord Commander, speaks up and says, "It's true, though. If we did collaborate, if we can do this in good faith, and we have the Queen, and you and the Silver Order are actually committed to working productively with us, then we could gain a foothold in the city. We would actually have a chance. If we secured both Temple Gate and Shepherd's Gate, we'd have the entire west side of the city. We could strike forward and deal with the problem with the gnolls. Then from there, we could secure the Academy District. We could secure the Foundry District, secure the crater. We could work together from there and eventually get towards the castle too. Who knows what resources we could find in the Mage Tower as well. If we could get even close to it, they might have some magic that we could use somehow or in some way. Perhaps even there's something in the tower that we could sell back to them. That would give us the resources that we need to keep moving."
I like your train of thought, Lord Commander.
I like the idea of starting with the...
I like
let's start with
the
the
start of our plan. I do think it would be important that the Academy falls back to the Amethyst Academy, as they are the best ones to run that place.
I mean, the Academy, they haven't shown any interest in the city at all.
I'm sure if they had access back to their tower. I used to go to school with the Academy a long time ago. Didn't really do too well, but
Are you telling them about how you dropped out of...
I didn't drop out.
You got kicked out.
Look at,
I got kicked out. There was an incident.
as far as that they're concerned, you know, the only dealings I've ever had with the Amethyst Academy, they rightly freak me out, to be perfectly frank.
They're kind of freaky.
They freak
They're
me out.
godless heathens, as far as I'm concerned. They're all up into their arcane gobbledygook. I don't make heads or tails of it. They're powerful. They do some strange things. I wouldn't want to run their ire, but if they have something valuable in that tower that would be useful for us. Ooh, they're wealthy. They got a lot of stuff going on.
Like you said, they do weird things and their magic is strange and foreign to you. Whatever they have in that tower is stuff that they know how to use. Not only that, but what has happened to Drakkenheim involving the delirium and the haze is also weird, and possibly requires an arcane look. As weird as you might think they are, they might be the best people to deal with this haze issue.
We're getting off topic. We
Yeah.
should focus on the short-sighted. We need to get...
I agree, but I think maybe there's a way that we can bring many factions together. Maybe we all just come back to how we had it before Drakkenheim fell. There doesn't need to be one group leading all of Drakkenheim. It used to be a city where the mages had their tower, the Hooded Lanterns had their watch. The paladins weren't here, but, you know, they're helping.
With fairness, it is true what they say. We are all united under the light.
a single goal.
I don't know how I feel about this, to be perfectly honest. I'm not happy about what's going on with Queen Lenore.
Noted.
I understand your frustration,
It's true.
That's a more polite way of saying noted, but yes.
As far as I'm
Lord
concerned,
Commander. I'll ease it up.
Knight Commander, if we do work together, Knight Commander, with respect, these three, well talented, are obstinate. And with your assistance, I feel that we should arrest them and keep them under guard until they are willing to divulge the location of the Queen.
That really 180'd.
Yeah, that seems inappropriate after we've literally just been sitting here working out a plan that helps all of us, and now suddenly you want to arrest us?
The Knight Commander speaks up. You three are smart, but your hearts and your minds are not in the right place. And I'm inclined to agree. I think you three should stay here until you're willing to actually work with us in a Forroth way.
We just said we were going to work
We
with
just
you.
agreed to work with you.
Uh-oh.
You did. And we'd like to. To be perfectly frank, I think all of us could work together really, really well. But I don't feel like you're dealing with all of us in good faith. And I feel that you need to make you and Lord Commander and all of us, we have to come to an accord on this business with the Queen. And I think of all this, I'm confident that Lord Commander, between the Hooded Lanterns and our troops, we could take Temple Gate. We could secure that, and then we could move forward and march on the Cathedral together.
Did
In a
we
coherent
just
way.
make an alliance?
Did we make
that
them
then...
together and then they abandoned us?
These three, straight up, they're wild cards. I agree with you. And they're not willing, and they think that they can control this whole situation.
We were just the mediators of this entire discussion. You guys were at ends, and we're the ones who came up with a plan that
man.
helped all of us. Now you're going to throw us under the wagon?
The horse-drawn
The
carriage.
horse-drawn carriage?
The Knight Commander, the Lord Commander speaks
right
up
under
and
the
says,
horse-drawn carriage.
look it. We need you to be dealing with us in good faith. This is a good plan. This is a solid plan. But we need to be able to trust each other if it's all going to work. And if you trust this plan to work, do you think this plan is going to work? Why aren't you worried about some mole in the Hooded Lanterns giving word to the Queen of Thieves and them disrupting the entire thing?
Because I think the Queen of Thieves is smarter than you give her credit for.
We've seen a lot of different factions in this city, and so far each one has their own reasons for being here in Drakkenheim. We've been in the middle of all of it, so we're neutral in the terms of talking to all these factions. What we've seen are different groups all fighting for what they think is right, and none of them willing to work with each other.
Nevertheless, I think y'all should lay down your weapon. You should surrender your weapons, and I think you should. We should take you in until you're actually willing to work with us in an honest way.
No.
Do I cast darkness?
I have one more proposal. If we take Temple Gate and we're successful, the new Holy Trinity, they like that stuff, right? Yeah. Then we will update you on the progress of the Queen. We will check in with her
Baby steps.
and see if her condition has improved. And if it has, and you guys keep your word, and none of this Queen of Thieves funny business goes on, then we can feel comfortable giving you more.
And Lord Commander, one more thing, just on good faith. Lord Commander, not Knight Commander. Just on good faith, when we do retrieve the items that belong to Drakkenheim, I do believe that they are best left in your hands. And if the Queen has come to and is well enough, I do think that it's appropriate that the Hooded Lanterns are the ones to deliver those items to them.
You can hand deliver it.
But we'll tell you that information once Temple Gate is taken and we are in that cathedral.
You can make persuasion checks.
You go first.
24.
4.
I only halfway believe you. I'm inclined to agree. I think y'all better lay down your arms and tell you're willing to work with us properly.
I've got one more suggestion. What if we bring the Queen to you instead of telling you where she is?
Before the operation. Before we make the attack.
Yes.
You go and bring her here.
Before the operation.
Do you think here is the safest place for her, Commander? I think that if we do bring her, we do not let anyone outside of this room know who she is.
Ophelia Reed speaks up again and says, There's an old mill where a bunch of adventure talent
We know of it.
I have no idea. Oh, I can't say that.
all of us in the room, and you bring the Queen there.
If somebody outside of this room finds out about the Queen, I'll know that anyone in this room is not worth trusting. And it will be your head that I will take, because the Queen is the most important thing here.
I also need to be very, very honest about something, since we're in the zone of truth. I'm going to reiterate that when we obtained the Queen, she was extremely sick. The hope was that she would get better. There is also the possibility, and this is an unknown to us at this time, that we could go back and she could be worse or dying or some situation. We will assess that situation, and perhaps with a great healer here, we still might be able to bring her before you. What I can't promise you is the state that the Queen will be in. We found her in a horrible state. We've improved that state, but she is sick, and you need to understand that.
All right.
Can we come
Here's
to...
what we're going to do.
Ooh.
Knight Commander, we will begin our preparations. You should too. Before the attack, you will bring the Queen into our custody. and then it's to the battlefields with us all immediately. We will secure her, make sure she's safe. We'll figure out where. But we can't waste any time.
Agreed.
Agreed.
For Drakkenheim.
Yeah.
And there's a shaking of the hands. And
Strike
that's where we'll
force.
end for tonight.
Oh, it got muddy. It got real muddy. The zone of truth, and it's all murky.
This could have gone one of two directions. I'm glad it went this one.
I think it could have gone a million other directions I don't know. That was rough. That was hard.
Well, I mean, we weren't going to jail. That was for sure.
Exhausting zone of truth. Honesty's hard.
Yeah. I really hope I don't have to kill anyone.
Like, it's gonna suck when you have to. You're sitting there, you're like, oh man.
I don't want to blow up the paladins. Or no, now I say that we're more in favor of we might have to blow up the hooded lanterns.
Listen, if
How
they're
did that happen?
That was some pretty intense social combat right there.
social combat is worse than real combat.
We also now have the problem with the Amethyst Academy. They don't want anybody getting a foothold in
Hey,
here.
hey,
Oh, we let
hey.
everybody
Whoa,
in.
whoa, whoa.
We opened the doors.
No, guys, I now understand what we're fighting for. A united Drakkenheim.
Yeah.
Nobody
I
wants
think,
the United Abstract
I
Academy
think
except
the
for
Amethyst Academy is now the
That's good.
outlier.
Ugh,
They're the new paladins.
politics. Ugh.
Yeah.
We just want to go killing.
I just want food.
I just want to know who my mom is.
Oh, the things you get involved in for food.
Right?
Yep. Well, with that,
What
we have
happened?
some. Yeah, what happened? That's a very uncertain place for us to be left on.
Didn't expect it was going to go in that direction.
I did not think it was going in that direction. That wraps it up for this evening, though.
Tonight's argument has been.
Yes. A big thank you to our cast, Jill, Kelly, and Joe, aka Veo, Sebastian, and Paludo. And a huge thank you to Kyle, who is managing everything behind the scenes with all of our stream gear, keeping the audio sounding nice and crisp and the video on point, and keeping all y'all entertained in chat so that no one is being left without their questions answered. Oh, I'm still having that southern drawl. Man.
You turned it on though. It is great.
The only thing I have to say is like having the commander, the knight commander, and the lord commander in the same conversation.
That was good.
I apologize for all the times where the voices got mixed. They ended up being way closer than I thought.
No, you did really great.
You did great.
That was awesome.
Yeah, I think it was pretty good.
Yeah. With that, and also a shout out to Clayton, who keeps our producer Clayton for all the awesome things he does too.
Yeah, if you are enjoying the stream, make sure to check out our Patreon. You can find it by following the links below or at patreon.com/dungeon_dudes.
Yeah, we've started a Discord server for our patrons, and there's been some really awesome conversations happening there. We're still trying to figure out what Discord is going to be for our community, but so far we've been doing things like just giving one-on-one advice. It's a great place to chat to us if you have questions about, is this character build any good, or what should I do in my campaign? And that's been kind of a fun place for us to have chat. There's also been lots of surprising theories about
Yeah, there's like a Drakkenheim theory section, and a lot of cat gifs as well, apparently.
Yeah.
Thank you,
That's been a lot of fun. We're
Internet.
still trying to figure out exactly how that community is going to take shape, if we're going to open it up more widely to all of our viewers and patrons. So we're very curious to hear what everyone thinks and what we can do with that and how we can run this best. But we're still just keeping it to our patrons for now as a test run. So if you are interested in joining us there, if you are already one of our patrons, please, we invite you to join us on Discord. And of course, Kelly and I post new videos every Thursday on our YouTube channel, where we cover everything Dungeons and Dragons, including advice for dungeon masters and guides for players. You'll also find prior episodes from this campaign available for your viewing pleasure there as well. Dungeons of Drakkenheim was sponsored by Skullsplitter Dice tonight. So make sure that you do get on and to skullsplitterdice.com. Use that discount code DDUDES at checkout for 15% if you are interested in growing your dice collection with some really beautiful metal dice.
So nice.
And as well, follow the links below if you're watching us on Twitch or following us on Twitter to enter our giveaway for a free set of Skull Splitter dice. This is the last, your last chance tonight and tomorrow to get in for the February giveaway, and then we'll draw that and have a new giveaway starting again in March.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing. And tonight's game session featured music by Tabletop Audio, as always.
And the voiceover for our introduction video by the awesome 100 Years Boar. Thank you so much.
Boom.
And our game accessories were generously provided by Axe and Shield. You didn't really get to see them tonight, but we do have...
I think this is the first time we have not had a combat encounter.
Yeah, tonight was just
Emotional
combat.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you, Axe and Shield. Check out his stuff. It's amazing.
Yeah.
I just ordered more recently, and I keep ordering more, and it's an addiction.
Yes, and speaking of addictions, we do use Terrain by Dwarven Forge and Miniatures by Dwarven Forge. Because that you didn't see it all tonight.
Oh.
I got a boat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a...
We need to add a lake to Drakkenheim. If anybody has any suggestions on where the lake is.
The Dran River is technically wide enough for ships.
Styx needs an upgrade.
We attack by boat.
but it's in the scheme of the
We
world.
come by sea.
It is a river that eventually drains out into the sea, but then there's another city there that is where the actual boats and harbors dock. But then it's just trade vessels that used to go up the Dran. So I guess I could have a boat there. It would just feel weird. It is a wide river. It's a huge river.
And it's a cool boat, right?
We'll eventually find a way to use the boat.
New
Stay
faction
tuned.
of pirates comes.
Yeah, pirate faction coming soon.
Pirate campaign. Actually, the new book, Shadows. I think it's Ghosts of Saltmarsh.
Yeah,
is the new D&D book.
I'm so excited. Well, I started off trying to write a pirate campaign.
I don't think it's a pirate campaign though.
I could make it a pirate campaign.
Robitussin.
In any case, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time in the ruins.
Bye.